Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Tuesday morning. Got a good show lined up. Well, let's just say we got a great show lined up. But first, our weather. Take a look at our weather. It's going to be all the way up to 81, which is going to be a comfortable day. Low 68, and the water temperature 73 degrees. It did go up 2 degrees yesterday. Now, looking at our river readings brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. We're looking at the Apalachicola of Bluntstown. It's still up there, folks. 15.3. The good news is dropping out, but it's still in the, what I call it, in the color. You see those color bars, and so you know that's it's still high. The river's still high. But they're catching some fish now. I saw a couple of messes of fish being caught down at Howard Creek. So I'll tell you, Careville, it's about to level off, right about 6.4 this morning. Looking good for the middle part of the week. Our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Looking at that chart right there, we're looking today, yesterday and today was sort of neat tides, but that's going to start picking up tomorrow and going on into the weekend. It's going to be great tides for the weekend. Low this morning is 323, then a high at 851, then a low again, one of those triple tides, but that's what happens on the neat tides. Our fishing game time brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers down to Port St. Joe. We're looking at 11:11 this morning to 1:11, smack dab in the middle of the day, and tonight 11:37 to 1:37. Now, our marine forecast is going to be still blowing, coming out of the west, southwest, at about 10 to 20. That's pretty sporty right there. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back with some great pictures. Okay, welcome back. We're going to look at some pictures. I hope you enjoy some of these humorous ones. I pick them up most of them on social media. Pick up some of these funny ones, and I sort of intermingle them with our ones that y'all send in to me, and also it works out real well. But this first one, we've all been there in that next boat, and the guys next to you catching a fish. Okay, so here's the title: when the guys in the next boat have a good fish on. Look at the look on their faces. Now, that's not true. We've all been there. Don't say you haven't. I've been on both sides of that boat. All right, listen, the Panama City Kayak Fishing Association, that bass schedule, they're getting on it now. They just have one at Deer Point now, coming up to the end of the month at Porter Lake. So go check with Brad at Sunjammers. Go on their website. They're doing once a month a nice bass tournament. I appreciate them doing that. Good job, kayakers. Mike McCraw. This brings back memories. How about the old pictures of the rod and reels, the old bamboo poles sticking out of that back right side window? That goes way back, but it's fishing. Thank you, Mike. How about today in homeschool, we did a chemistry experiment. Also, Mom is not letting Daddy teach anymore. All right, I love these homeschool jokes. Mountain Dew. Now, listen, everybody wants a Mountain Dew. Even these dogs, they want to get out there and get a Mountain Dew. They want to get outside there and get a Mountain Dew. Billy Grantham sent this to me. Oh, Billy, look at there. They went hog hunting. This is the same picture, same dogs. They got them throwing that Mountain Dew, and look what they did. They got him a nice hog. Thank you, Billy, for sharing that. Good job, fellas. Great time of the year to go hog hunting now. These nights are cool, and these mornings are cool. Good job. All right, next picture. You almost have to, this is, hey Coach Winston, it's Seth Prothrow. Opening day of Amberjack, which is this past Friday. It did me well. Folks, that is 112 pounds amberjack. Seth Prothrow, that is a great job. You don't, that is huge. 112 pounds. I gotta look up the state record. You're not too far from the state record right there. There it is on the scales. You just don't, I mean, that is huge. Okay, let's go to this next picture. Hal Webb, our FWC officer down there on St. Joe Bay. Last week he released Hal. Well, this past week he had this was a bomb. A little bomb went off. This is a World War II bomb. Now, they're still out there. Old World War II munitions were discovered and detonated by the Air Force on the state park. It's really cool. So, this is from a distance now. Let's look up close. It's amazing that those bombs are still there. you can't really tell how big it is. This is a hole it made, okay? They detonated it. But look here now, in relation to a boat, you see how big it is. There's a state park down in St. Joe. So Hal crawled down there to give another picture of how big it is, all right? And that is a, you know, you don't want to mess around with any kind of old munitions and all. Let the authorities know about it. Kenny Bostic, he limited out up there in Missouri, so he went over to Kansas and got a Rio. Good job, Kenny Bostic. That is a great picture. All right, this next one, Lakin Hutchinson and Seth Summers, they Saturday, maybe it might have been Sunday, you know, Saturday anyway, caught a shark. First thing she caught was a shark. Look at that, I know she's excited about that, but they brought in 2 pompano. Good job, Lakin and Seth. My buddy, and this is great right here. I love Brandon Ward, one of my former students. He's a pastor now, and I knew when I had him in class he was going to be a pastor. He's just a great young man. He said he sent this to me, a 39-inch redfish. It was a beast, and he sent me a special note, Coach Chester. I just wanted you to see this one. Good job, Brandon Ward. Good picture there. All right, a couple more real quick. How about some bass fishing with Dale Finley up there in the Sand Hills? Caught a big one, and it was 8 pounds, 8 ounces on Lucas Lake. But look at this next picture. Now, that's almost a photographer's dream. I mean, look at the background. That is a framer right there. Good job, Mr. Finley. Great picture there. And 1 or 2 more. I had a flashback showed up on Facebook 6 years ago this past weekend. I limited out there at the Cape. It was a good trip. I was by myself that day. And how about that? If you can't find a mask, get that milk jug, go down the eyes, and if you want to drink something, just screw the lid off and drink your drink and put the lid back on. So, okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk about some other stuff. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Listen, this past weekend, I'm going to use the word, I'm going to go above fascinating in the next category up, phenomenal. As far as the people getting out on the water. I'm going to talk, I don't have time to go cover all of it today. We're going to talk about it today and tomorrow because it was a phenomenon. I got, here's a text from Mike Price. Waiting in line at the city marina to get your boat out of the water is like waiting in line at Disney. We know how that is. Okay, another one, a guy rode by, he said went by the city marina in Lynn Haven, right there at the Beta Bridge. Folks, the guy used the term, it was a zoo. So many people out there. All right, here's another one. I got a text Saturday morning around 10 o'clock. It said, hey, Coach, I'm at the Burnt Mill Creek boat landing. Okay, that's up there off 388. It's not a big area. He said he counted 31 boat trailers there, all in there, up the road and everything. 31 boat trailers. Another viewer was down in St. Andrew at the St. Andrew boat ramp. They ran out of room parking on the marina. They started parking on Beck Avenue. This is just on Saturday morning now. Let's get out of Panama City. Let's go up to Calhoun County, Clarksville, at the Chipotle River on Highway 20. They run out of room there and started parking on Highway 20. There were people all over the place. Let's jump down to Miami. I read a story on Miami, and the folks were waiting in line. They actually, I read down, they spent the night to get in line to get into the boat ramp. They just had them lined up. And they got so many people there, the officials closed the ramp at 11 o'clock that morning and people had to turn around and go home. It was a phenomenal weekend as far as people, and I went on and on. I want to first of all, thank the Bay County Commissioners for not closing in the boat ramps. They kept them open the whole time, but we're going to talk about this past weekend. It just set incredible records as far as people on the water, freshwater, and bay system and out on salt water. But anyway, we're going to take a break, come back with a video. Bill Allen, my buddy Bill Allen, cooking some sausage. So we're going to go do a cooking video right after this break. We'll be right back. Hey, all right, look, come over to Bill and Donna's house, and we're going to do a cooking show.
Temporary house.
Yeah, that's right, temporary kitchen. But we know what a good cook Bill is and how much time it takes. So I'm just going to sit back. This is going to be sort of Bill's presentation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a spectator. You just tell the folks what you're doing.
Well, the last show that I did, I talked about that smoked breakfast sausage, the recipe that I got from Billy Perry, and he got from his dad. And had a lot of questions about it, a lot of people wanting to know more, so we just thought, well, it's a Sunday afternoon, and I'll show you exactly what we do. It's a very simple recipe. There's nothing to it. I make it with two different kinds of sausage. These I get from Lucky's. They're the bulk breakfast sausages back in the meat counter, and I have them do it for me in 1.5 pound package. And before I get started, I also use, this is the original recipe. This is the Jimmy Dean regular. This is what Billy first showed me that they did, and this is the 2 pound that we get at Sam's. But so I'm going to do both of them. They're both popular. I decided to do the breakfast sausage just to try it. And on the regular Jimmy Dean, I use this brown sugar and bourbon rub on it. It gives it a real good flavor. It's fantastic. And then for the breakfast sausage, the bulk from Lucky's, I got this, Donna and I got this in Tennessee when we were up there. This is an apple rub, and it's really the only thing that I've used, but there is a Grill makes an apple rub, and I get these at Sam's too, back in the spice department, so I'm going to use both of them, but I like to use the apple because it gives a little bit of sweetness to what is. This can be a little bit tart sometimes, or a little bit strong, so the apple makes it work out well. Alright, so now all I'm doing is just using the paper they provided for the Lucky's to form it up. It's a little bit bigger around than the Jimmy Dean, and I did that because I wanted it to fit those great big biscuits like we have at the houseboat down there. So at this point, and again I'm using the apple rub on this, you just coat it down real good. Make sure that it's all covered, and the ends, those are especially what people love. But the other thing I like about this is this freezes, and it's just as good frozen. Wrap it, double wrap it, or triple wrap it. I'll have to have Donna and put it in the freezer. You can take this out, take it to the camp, take it fishing, take it wherever. You've seen us have it at the houseboat, or at least we've talked about it. But that's all I'm doing. I'm getting that good and covered right there. And actually, these are going to be used, I think, next week when we all go down scalloping at the Cape. So if they make it that long. Because usually they don't. And after we taste them when they're done, you probably see why. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the rest of them ready. There's no point I'm doing the same thing on every one of them. I'll get the rest of them ready, and then I'll take it out and I'll show you how I do it on the pellet grill. It's very simple. You don't have to fool with it. If you hadn't got a pellet grill yet, you need to think about it. It's a great way to cook. So let me get these all ready, and then we'll go out and put them on the grill. So we've got them all ready here to go on the smoker, the pellet grill, and these from Lucky's, and I remembered, Donna reminded me, they only had 3 pounds left, so these are 1.5 pounds a piece, and these Jimmy Dean are 2 pounds. So typically what I do with the bulk sausage is get 2.5 pounds a piece. So they didn't have it though, because if you go in the afternoon, they're probably going to be out. It's very popular. Go in the morning, go back to the meat counter, and they got it. So we're going to take these down. I've got my pellet grill on 200. It's hot today. I've got it on a smoke setting that'll produce a lot of smoke. And basically we're going to put them on for about 1.5 hours. In about 45 minutes I'll go out there and roll them a little bit, but that's all. And this is it. It's all it takes to do it. So let's take them outside and we'll put them on the smoker. All right, so this is a pellet grill. This is my Pit Boss XL. I got the big one because I got a big family, but I've got an external temperature here, but then I've got an electronic temperature down here. So I've already warmed it up, and I'm only going to do this about 200. It's a hot day, so and this kettle will be hotter. But for those of you that don't know, this is all wood, and these are wood pellets, and you can get them in any flavor: cherry, hickory, pecan, whatever you want to cook with. But they're 100% wood. And what happens is there's an auger, and it will turn and put the wood into the fire pot, and it will keep it at 200 plus or minus 5 or so degrees for as long as I have it turned on and there's pellets in here. So it's fantastic, especially ribs. I love them. There's a P setting on here that I turn up a little bit, so it comes on 4, and I put it on 5. And I'm just going to set these in, and I'm going to put the smaller ones on top on the smoking rack. And the smoking rack cooks just as well as the lower rack does, but if I've got something smaller, I'll usually put it up there so my time stays the same. All right. So now, in about 45 minutes, I'll come out, roll them over. In an hour and a half or so, they'll be done. They have a nice smoky flavor to them. You can, you just kind of melts all the fat out of it when you're cooking them like this. Everything drips, and it's just an indirect. Now you can do it on a Weber or something like that if you use indirect heat. All your coals on one side, and then put your sausage on the other side. But you know, hour and a half to 2 hours, somewhere in that range. This will be done. We'll taste it when it's done, and then hopefully wrap them up real quick so they actually make it to the Cape next weekend. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes. We've got a nice roll going here. I'm going to turn these over for the last 45 minutes. This is debatable. You can turn them or not turn them, but I like to kind of keep the same on both sides. But they look like they're cooking out really nice. Another 45 minutes and we'll be sampling.
Folks, you can see now I worked really hard on this. So my last thing I have to do now is hold this tray for Bill. Go ahead.
So we've been on about about an hour and a half or so at pretty much a steady 200.
Man,
that's what they're supposed to look like.
That smells so good.
This is a wonderful thing. These are food handling gloves, and they'll take a lot of heat. But when you can just do it like that, woo, it's a lot easier. These things really solidify pretty good. And the best part is we'll sample them in a couple of minutes.
How long have they been cooking?
An hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, there's really not a whole lot to it. You set it and forget it with these pellet grills, and that's what makes it really nice. But you know, the ones I got from Lucky's are seasoned with the apple, and the other two are seasoned with the regular honey barbecue. Honey, what is it called? Brown sugar and honey. Brown sugar and honey. So we're going to take them inside and give them a try.
All right.
Okay. This, of course, sampling is the biggest part of this. I'm going to take a chunk out of here. You can see it's got a nice little smoky ring around it. We're going to cut some for tasting purposes. And this is the one with the Jimmy Dean sausage with the, I keep calling it the wrong thing, with the bourbon, brown sugar and bourbon. And then this is with the apple. And it's hot, nice and solid. And it freezes well. You know, like I said, it's smoked. Winston,
Yeah.
it may still be a little hot, but I know you're first to volunteer on the tasting.
Yeah, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Well, that's
Which
the
one?
apple.
This is the apple.
That's the apple
Ooh,
with
it's
with the Luckies.
Ooh, that's good.
That pass,
That's
you
good.
got to make sure. I'm doing it like that.
That's good.
It's really juicy, and it stay that way even after you freeze it. So, and that's a bourbon brown sugar.
That's really good. Ooh, that's good.
Have a little more kick to it.
Yeah. They're both delicious, Bill.
Now it has that little bit of sweetness to it. That's great. It's very simple. You know, usually Donna just takes this, she wraps it 2 or 3 times in tin foil, closes it up tight, stick it in the freezer. So when you go to the camp or the houseboat, if you're lucky enough, or wherever, or to the Cape to go get scallops and you need breakfast, you just pull it out of the freezer, let it thaw out, and then just remember it's already cooked. So if you're going to heat it up, you can put it in the oven, but you can pop it in the microwave for like 20 or 30 seconds, and it's, you know, it gets it back nice and warm. But you put it in for a minute or so, it's going to cook it and it's not going to be as good. So you really just want to warm it up. But anyway, thanks for watching, and thanks for your interest in this after I talked about it the other day. I hope you try it. If you do, email us and let us know if you liked it or not.
That's right. Good stuff, y'all.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.